Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Premier League Fantasy Football and welcome to my video. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at the fixture announcements for 2023 to 2024 Premier League season. So if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe and drop a like on the video as it helps my channel out a lot. So here we go. So as you can see, I have changed the background a little bit, staying with the black and white for now. And then that will change once the Premier League has updated their website. But yeah, in this video, I just want to look at a couple of fixtures, a couple of game weeks, and look at which teams might have a really good run in the opening Premier League fixtures. And then that might determine, well, actually, that will determine how our teams were set up. We were looking for the best captaincy. We were looking for the best kind of setup for the first couple of game weeks, really, because a lot of us will probably wild card quite early. Right now, I don't really want to look at when I might wild card and so on. I think it's best to have a look at the first 3 game weeks and to see how that plans out. Okay, so here we go. So as you can see, the first game for this year's Premier League season is Burnley versus Manchester City. Now, I'm pretty sure that we'll get some news on this, who will probably start for Manchester City, and I'm pretty certain that a lot of people will captain Haaland in this game week. It's a very good fixture for Manchester City, so I think a lot of us will probably double up on them. If we look down to the Saturday's games, you can see Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. Great fixture for Arsenal being at home. I can see a lot of us having at least 1 or 2 Arsenal players. Got Bournemouth versus West Ham. Difficult to kind of predict on how that might turn out. Obviously, it's new season, right? Things could change. Next up is Brighton versus Luton. This is a good fixture for Brighton. Well, it should be anyway, being at home and against a team that has been promoted from the Championship. So people are probably going to look at like Matoma, maybe one of the Brighton defenders that I can see that's going to happen. Probably like 80% of all of our teams probably is going to have at least one Brighton player. And you got teams like Everton versus Fulham. You got Mitrovic. You got, some of the Everton players like Decore that he's actually performed really well towards the end of the season. That could be a differential. You got Sheffield United and Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace at the end of the season, they started scoring a lot of goals. A lot of their players, came into our FPL teams. So, players like Eze could be a good option there as well. And you got Newcastle versus Aston Villa. Quite a difficult one to predict on how this is going to turn out. But you got like players like Trippier, Wilson, Isak, Watkins, couple of the Aston Villa defenders that we could go for. And you can look at the Sunday's games. You got Brentford versus Spurs. Difficult fixture to kind of predict. I can see Brentford, doing really well here. I don't think Spurs is gonna change immediately. I think they need to buy a couple of players and sort their team out, really. You got Chelsea versus Liverpool. Anything can happen in this game. I think a lot of us will go with Mo Salah anyway. And you got Manchester United versus Wolves. I can see Rashford in our teams. I can already see the template growing. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts for these first fixtures for game week 1. Now, if we look at game week 2 and game week 3, normally when I look at the first 3 to 5 game weeks, I try to plan things out, right? And I think to myself, okay, when can I use the wildcard? Can I delay the wildcard a little bit more longer? Or, do I have to play early? Now, looking at these fixtures, I don't know if I want to play early because I feel like the team that we will set up with is pretty much the team that we're going to stay with, but things could change, right? I haven't really looked at game week 4, game week 5, game week 6 to kind of make that big decision, but it's very early stages. But if we look at these, right, in this next 2 game weeks, you can see that Aston Villa versus Everton. I think this is a good fixture for Aston Villa. You got Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Again, you know, Arsenal performed really well against Crystal Palace last season. So this could be a good game to watch, and this could bring us some FPL returns. You know, Fulham, again, you know, a decent fixture. They had Everton away and then Brentford at home. That looks pretty good. And if you look at their game week 3, you can see they're playing against Arsenal, which is quite of a difficult fixture. You can then see Liverpool versus Bournemouth. A lot of people will be looking at Salah as a captain against Bournemouth. So having him in our teams in game week 1 is pretty much what we want to do. Maybe we might even go for Trent as well at the beginning of the season. You got Luton versus Burnley. Maybe there could be some shocks here, you know, well, I shouldn't say shocks. Surprises from Luton or Brighton in game week 1 where we might bring in one of their players because they could do well. You know, Luton's got Chelsea away in game week 3, which is not good. So I don't think a lot of us will invest in any Luton players early on. You got Manchester City versus Newcastle, you know, in game week 2. Then they have Sheffield United away, so another promoted team. Can see Manchester City doing really well there, even against Newcastle. So doubling up on Manchester City players could be the way to go, by the looks of it. You got Nottingham Forest against Sheffield United. You know, they got Manchester United are away in game week 3. Difficult fixtures for them. I don't think a lot of us will invest in Sheffield United or Nottingham Forest. So yeah, I think we might need to pass on that. You got Spurs versus Manchester United at home in game week 2, but then they got Bournemouth away in game week 3. Good fixture for them. So, you know, if we're going to wildcard in game week 2 or something, maybe Harry Kane could be the way to go. And you got West Ham versus Chelsea. You know, good fixture there for the fans. Difficult fixture to kind of predict there. And you can see West Ham in game week 3. Where are they? Against Brighton. Another difficult fixture there. And Chelsea has got Luton. So maybe, you know, if we were thinking to wildcard after game week 2, bring in more Chelsea players, you know, Manchester United, I don't know. We'll see, right? We'll see how things go. And you got Wolves versus Brighton. You know, Wolves got Everton away in game week 3. Brighton has got West Ham at home. So I can already see a little bit of a template being created here. I'm looking at Brighton players, so I'll double up on Brighton, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, and then we just have to try our best to kind of bring in 1 or 2 differentials. I think there's going to be a lot of doubles on my first thoughts. You know, it could all change. I haven't really looked ahead too much, but it kind of feels like it's gonna be that. But yeah. But that's about it, really. Just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about it. Giving you guys my first thoughts. I was around 50k last season. I am thinking to, you know, try my best to kind of create more videos for you guys this season. I got a big motivation that I want to, you know, it's kind of helping me out. So I really want to make things happen in this channel and change things around. But yeah, that is pretty much it. You guys let me know what you think about the fixtures. You know, is there already a pattern? Is there already a template growing? Are we looking too much ahead? You know, it's still early days, right? But it's kind of a good thing to talk about. So yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this video has helped you. Please subscribe if you're new. And drop a like on the video. You know, when this video gets around 50 to 100 likes, it really does help my channel out a lot to bring in the views, to bring in the people, so people can watch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.